Next up at UFC Nashville, we have Mike Davis taking on Mitch Ramirez. Mike Davis coming off one of the most atrocious performances we have ever seen, but he's still a touted prospect, which is why the odds are what they are. He is 4-1 in his last 5, and I mentioned that last fight, that loss, worst performance of his career. Taking on Mitch Ramirez, 3-2 in his last 5. He is looking for his first UFC win. This does feel like a matchup made to give Mike Davis the win that they're trying to give him, right? Mike is an exciting guy. He's a somewhat marketable guy. He's a fun guy. He's beaten some solid prospects himself. So when he went out there and was pulling guard and butt scooting, it didn't quite align to what we know about Mike Davis. So I'm going to throw that out the window. I'm going to assume that was anomaly because of the paint fumes and whatever the hell else. So we're going to break this down.
Did you hear about the hotel situation as well?
What was the hotel situation?
I guess he fucking got all the way over there and then didn't even have a hotel. He had to go find a hotel or something on top of everything. So
well, I didn't know that. And that last fight was it had to be an anomaly, right? I don't think he goes from shooting great takedowns, having great jiu-jitsu, having good striking, to just pulling guard, wiping his ass on the floor. I don't think that was like a game plan. I don't think that's where his skills are. I think it was an anomaly. So if I remove that from the equation, we have a Mike Davis that has very good takedowns. He's very athletic. He's got good hands, good striking. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He's taking on Mitch Ramirez. While Mitch Ramirez is struggling to get his first win in the UFC, he has not had easy fights. His first was against Carlos Prates, and then his second was short notice against Thiago Moises. These are not easy fights for anybody. Mitch Ramirez is kind of a grappler himself. He's got some decent wrestling, decent striking. He'll throw a ton of leg kicks. He'll use those to set up the takedowns. If he gets the fight to the ground, he's going to control. He is not looking to finish. Even though I do think Mitch is better than these odds, and Mitch is probably better than the recent run of luck the UFC has given him, I don't think he's going to win here because I don't see Mitch outstriking Mike Davis. And we just talked about the fact that I don't think Mike Davis is going to be pulling guard all desperate to get this to the ground. So now we have a Mike Davis back in his old form, shooting takedowns. Mike also has phenomenal jiu-jitsu. So if Mitch Ramirez wants to play the jiu-jitsu game, he will lose that to Mike Davis. So Mike Davis is the pick. Minus 900, not great, especially coming off his last performance, but he likely gets it done. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, if you guys don't know about Mike Davis and you just watch his last fight, maybe you guys are new because he didn't fight very often. So maybe you just watch that last fight and you're like, oh my God, minus 900. How could, after that last fight, it's like Mike Davis, if he gave a fuck about fighting, he is a title contender. This guy is one of the most talented guys in the UFC. He comes in, he fights once a year to pay the bills and keep his streaming goals alive, and that's just what he does. You can tell he doesn't really love fighting. He just does it because he's good at it. Usually it's pretty easy. His last fight, he says he's affected by the paint fumes. I was a big Mike Davis guy. I still like Mike Davis as a fighter. It was one of my biggest bets of the year. I'm like, oh my God, this guy, Ziam, Mike Davis is going to come in, take him down, and just fucking maul this guy. 13 seconds into this fight, I see Mike Davis shoot a nice little entry. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, here we go. Reach my hand into my pants, getting ready to get the thing going. And all of a sudden, he just falls backward, as Angelo said, straight pull guard. And I said, what the fuck was that? And I've never been so horrified in my fucking life. How many? Did I have like 4 or 5 units on this guy? I can't remember.
I don't remember if he was in the safety parlay that week, but he might have been. And he was affordable. It wasn't like he was minus 700.
Yeah, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm all over fucking Mike Davis. The good news is, even with the way he started that, even with he talks about he didn't have the hotel, the paint fumes, all this stuff, and you could tell he was fucking tired. Like 2 minutes into that fight, it was like, oh, fuck. He still was trying to work through it. He didn't quit. Right? We've seen people in those positions, Claudio Puelles, Herbert Burns, those type of guys that get in those, adversity and they're like, oh, fuck this. I'm just going to go home. He did not. And he should have probably won that fight with that calf slicer. I mean, Ziam's knee is about to fucking just explode.
Oh, yeah, that calf slicer was so close.
I mean, he literally was just folding this guy in half. Even at the end, he was reversing position, landing elbows. So you know that if adversity strikes, he's at least he's not a fucking pussy, even though the pulling guard thing was not a good look. But he pulled guard, he tried to sweep, and then he went back up. But you can tell that this guy doesn't really love fighting, but you can tell he loves grappling. This guy loves grappling. His whole Instagram is grappling. He is like one of those Isaac Dolgarian guys to where he loves trying the wild shit. And Mitch Ramirez is a guy that On the ground, he is capable on the ground. He's probably there's a likelihood he's probably gonna get finished anyway. But I do worry about Mike Davis trying to make a statement, trying to, prove everyone like, oh, that's not who I was. Come in, try to grapple a little bit too hard, right? With all the weird shit, maybe a Peruvian necktie, this stuff. Mitch is able to withstand it, and Mitch is a capable fighter, and things could get interesting. But Mike Davis is the better wrestler. He is the better grappler. He's got good striking as well. He's a super talented guy. That's why he's minus 900. If you didn't know, I do worry a little bit.
I get it. And the general sentiment seems to be like, I learned my lesson. I'm never betting on this guy ever again. And I understand that sentiment. There's a few comments here. People talk about this fight specifically. Will said he didn't just jiu-jitsu nerd for no reason. His joints are weak because of his disease. He's talking about Lyme disease. Listen, my mother has Lyme disease. She got it from a deer tick. She got it 20 years ago. You keep that forever. I watched my mother make 86 meatballs in an afternoon and just went like this with her fingers to shake them out. Her joints were fine. Mike Davis' joints are fine. It is not a joint issue because of Lyme disease. Maybe
Angelo is underneath a bull, sucking balls with AIDS. He's an inspiration. If Angelo can do that with AIDS, Angelo almost got down a fucking Big Mac in a minute with AIDS.
And I probably could have. My issue with the Big Mac minute challenge there was I went in cocky. I was like, I'm going to do this slow to show people. And then I was just, oh, shit. And I wasn't going to refilm it because,
you just said something about a cock, and then you said slow, and then you just wanted to finish it.
Do you want it in your mouth? Have you ever heard of Do you want it in your mouth for a long time? You want to get it over with?
Excuse me?
That was what was it? It was like a debate.
Yeah, I bet.
Listen, we're both picking Mike Davis here. He's $9,800 in DraftKings Fantasy. He could find a finish here. If I have to spend $9,800 on him or $9,900 on Fatima, I probably spend the $9,900 on Fatima just because Mitch actually is kind of big. I know the stats show that Mike Davis is going to be bigger. Mitch is pretty freaking big. And Mike Davis, maybe his disease will prevent him from grappling the way that people thinks he should grapple. So I'm probably going to spend the $9,900 on Fatima over the $98 on Mike Davis. But if you're in that camp, go ahead and give it a whirl. If you do want to check out every single pick, every single bet, and every single tool, we have a whole slew of tools that will pick fights for you, a whole slew of tools that will give you every data point you could ever want, need, or imagine. You can unlock every single one of them for an entire month. It is only $10, and that $10 will unlock this card, UFC 318 next week, UFC Abu Dhabi, and then the Tatsuro Taira Fight Night after that. WeWantPicks.com.
How many times would you estimate, which is probably going to be hard, but try to, if you can, have you watched Brokeback Mountain?
I've never seen it, but I'd make quite a few.
Oh, bullshit! Oh, bullshit!
Now ask me how many times I've seen Wild Things.
What?
You don't know Wild Things?
Is that a homosexual film?
No. You'll find out if you're straight or not real fast. We got a $2 super chat from Bub Collins. I'm going to this event, my first ever. I love the hat, Ange.
This is like one of the cheapest events on record to go to. The get-in price is like $100 for.
Really? Why? Because they weren't selling tickets, or it was just open that way, or what?
I mean, have you never had an economics class in your life?
I understand how supply and demand works, you fuck weasel. I'm just asking if they lowered the prices or if that's what they opened at, because the UFC historically has.
Nobody lowers prices. The market dictates the price. They're not out there with the fucking BOGO. They're not out there with the fucking signs with the arrow. We got tickets over here for the UFC. They set the price. They get out there, and if they're not selling late in the game, then the market dictates the price. It's sold out.
Well, shit stick. The tickets for No Day UFC got slashed by 50% on Ticketmaster because they weren't selling. And the same with UFC 316. So my question to you is, did the UFC lower the price? I bet you did. Looking at this hat, I would be afraid of it too.
The fuck was that?
Hey.
What the hell is going on?
The next line says that A is bad. That's not a bad. Hey. I'm from Texas. That's a good.
You're supposed to say, "Bitch, I'm from Texas."
Bitch, I'm from Texas. I don't know the rest of the words. I gotta learn them though.
What the fuck was that?
The
You're at a circus?
I'm from Texas. I don't know the words. I just know, hey, bitch, I'm from Texas. It's a great song. Great song.
Yeah, it was a year and a half ago. You're right.